Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Faction Settlements mod, which is being made by user Genomine. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the ability for you to actually claim a settlement for a particular faction. For instance, you could give the Red Rocket here to either the Minutemen, the Brotherhood of Steel, the Railroad, or the Institute. And I love this mod, as it's something I actually thought would be in the vanilla game, as theoretically, in the storyline, we are basically conquering the Commonwealth for one of those four factions, and yet when it came to the settlement system, all we ever had was generic settlers. We didn't have any options for, say, planting some synths inside of a particular settlement, and that always kinda saddened me, but now we have the ability to do so with the Faction Settlements mod. For instance, I actually have given this Red Rocket to the Institute, and currently I have 2 Institute settlers. So as you can see, if we get close to them, they are properly synths, and with everything that comes with being a synth. And at the moment, like I said, I have 2 of them that I've been able to get over here using the same beacon that we use for regular settlers, but we have a flag that I have just up there on the roof that makes it so that this place is for Institute settlers. And what's really cool is these guys aren't just reskinned, renamed settlers, they are properly synths from the Institute. So if you killed them, they would have synth components, and if, say, for instance, a railroad squad happened to wander by here, they would attack them on sight because, well, of course, the Institute and the railroad are enemies, and that is a fun feature. They are properly a part of that faction in every way, shape, and form, which means that theoretically you could build, say, a settlement to the railroad, and then later on screw them over in the main storyline, and guess what? That settlement now wants you dead, and anytime you go there, they'll try to kill you, and you actually have to destroy all of them to take your settlement back, and that is a fun mechanic, and I love it. So let's go over to the Starlight Drive-In, which is one of my, empty settlements, and show off how this actually works, which is pretty simple overall, though there's a couple of things you need to know before we get moving. First and foremost, you must have, basically, you must be friendly with the faction you want to build. You cannot have destroyed them in the questline, and you should not be hostile with them in any way, shape, or form. And then, if you want to build specifically a settlement for the Brotherhood of Steel, you need to be allied with them and have the rank of Paladin. For the Railroad, you need to have joined them. They're pretty trusting, apparently. The Minutemen, you need to have completed the Old Guns artillery quest. And for the Institute, they're actually the most difficult. You need to have completed the Nuclear Family mission. So basically, you need to finish the game to build for the Institute, which is, makes it by far the hardest of the factions to deal with. But once you do have one of those criteria met for a faction, you just need to go into your workshop menu, and then in special, you will find some fun new flags added. Now for me, in this particular save file, I sided with the Institute and the Minutemen, so those are the only 2 flags I have, because of course, I am very much hostile with the Minutemen and the Brotherhood, or not the Minutemen, the Railroad rather, and the Brotherhood of Steel, considering I destroyed them, and so I cannot build those flags, so you would have to still be friendly with them to do so. So for instance, since we do already have an Institute settlement, let's build ourselves a Minuteman settlement, and first what you need to do is build this flag, which is pretty simple, just 5 cloth and 3 steel. And there we go, we've built a flag. Once you've built that, you need to exit the workshop mode, go up to the flag, and activate it. There we are, you can see that the settlement is now claimed for the Minutemen, and that is cool. Now at this point you actually can delete this flag, it's not necessary from here on out, but frankly I like keeping it because it reminds me which settlements are for which. Then of course after that you gotta get people here, so you are going to have to build a beacon. Now it actually is pretty important that you build a beacon after you build the flag. I have had some issues where I had a beacon already active at a settlement, and if I went to build a flag for a faction while the beacon was active, the entire beacon basically just didn't work. It would not call settlers to this settlement. So if you have a beacon, make sure it's off, or just to be on the safe side, perhaps scrap or store it before you place a flag. And then, you know, just hook it up to power. There we go. We are transmitting, and we should pick up, hopefully soon, a settler from the Minutemen. Now let's just make sure that they are enticed to come here with just a few little extra add-ons. He will, of course, need some water. And we already have one bed. That should be good enough for him, hopefully. And, yeah, we'll just oh, no, don't want to close that. Now, other things that I should mention, besides the weird little thing with the radio beacon, is there are a couple other issues. And they're intentional. They are certainly intentional issues. For instance, moving a faction settler to another settlement is disabled. Even if you own that settlement, even if that settlement is a part of that other that particular faction, you cannot move faction settlers. Just to be sure, it's basically a safeguard to make sure that you don't send a, say, Institute settler to a Brotherhood of Steel base, because that would be an awful, awful idea, because you're basically sending them to their deathbed, which would be problematic. Now, as for caravans, though, you actually can send out faction caravans, but be careful where you send them to, because, again, remember, they are properly a part of a faction. So if you send a Brotherhood of Steel caravan to a railroad base, oh, they're gonna shoot each other, and that's just not good. But it does at least let you do that one, which I find interesting. And that is quite fun, though. Now, you can actually stop recruiting faction settlers at any time by either replacing the faction flag and activating it for another faction. But again, remember, they act like that particular faction. So if I have a Minuteman base and then I start building, well, actually, who did the Minutemen hate? Really no one, frankly. But if I built, again, Brotherhood of Steel in here and then built a railroad one, they wouldn't get along. Now, where are these two? I apparently have two settlers. I cannot for the life of me see where they are, though, but it is kind of a large base, so that could be why I'm not seeing them. Oh, nope, there they are. I see them in the distance. Beautiful. We have two settlers, so let's just head over here with that. All right, and these guys should both be Minutemen. There we go. Minuteman 1, Minuteman 2. Perfect. And that is wonderful. Now back towards setting the faction, if you do, say, want to be back to normal settlers, you are going to have to do that with a console command. You can find that console command in the mod page, which will be in the description. Of course, you can check that out. But that is something that might be added in the future. For right now, they just don't have a normal settlement flag. Hopefully, that will come down the line. But for right now, you build faction settlements, and that is just wonderful. Hello, sir. You are a Minuteman, and this now is yours. Though, of course, it is still technically yours. It is a settlement that you can build in, that you can, do whatever you want to do, like any other settlement. It's just the people in it are of a particular faction with all that that entails. And that is pretty darn awesome. And so, that's really all I have to explain for it. I can't think of anything else. I went over the tower thing, the sending people thing, all that, so we should be good. So, if you would like to check out this mod for yourself, why did that guy just fall over? Oh, radiation. Oh yeah, I should probably clean that up for him. I forgot I'm in God mode, so I didn't get affected by it. But yes, if you would like to check out this mod for yourself, you can take a look at the link in the description, as always, and I definitely say to go check this out, have fun with it, and enjoy exploring the possibilities of having modded settlers, or, well, faction settlers, really, as it's just a cool idea. But that's going to be it for today, folks. I hope you all have enjoyed, and of course that you do come back for the next. But until that point, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.